G'day chemists. So in this video, we're looking at the indicators of chemical change. So how can we know that a chemical change has occurred? Now, by the end of this, I'd really like it if you could be able to determine if a chemical change has taken place. So here's your vocabulary. If I could just get you to pause right now, write this down so you've got it to refer back to as we continue along. So chemical versus physical change. When chemical change, a new substance is formed, and we get no new substances with a physical change. It's the same stuff, just smashed up a bit or cooled down and heated up, depending on. Now, for example, here we have a chemical change. We have two hydrogen molecules reacting with an oxygen molecule. This gives us water plus some energy, two water molecules plus some energy. So we can see that a new substance has actually been formed. And we can see that here quite clearly if we draw out the atoms. So we've got two of these hydrogen molecules plus one of the oxygen molecules gives us two of these hydrogens, which are now joined to the oxygen, to give us a water molecule plus energy. In this case, explosions, which is always the best way. So what are our indicators of chemical change? There are about four we want to know. And there are others, but they tend to be variations among these four. So first we have a gas being liberated, or effervescence. It's essentially bubbles. Now here we have magnesium reacting with hydrochloric acid, which is aqueous, magnesium being solid, and this gives us aqueous magnesium chloride plus hydrogen gas. In that case, hydrogen gas is the gas which is being bubbled out. And as we see there, that's our gas. The other one, as we can see, light or heat is given off. And that's a little firework down there, just in case you couldn't work that out. For example, when we have magnesium and solid, and we react it with oxygen, we get magnesium oxide plus light and heat. This is a really common experiment that is often done in high school classrooms everywhere. It's where you get the magnesium strip and you heat it in the Bunsen burner until it sets on fire, and then you get the bright flames, and away we go. If you do that, don't look directly at it. It's not good for your eyes. So when the heat is given off, we call that exothermic. So that's an exothermic reaction. However, heat can also be absorbed. So basically, what we're actually looking at there, and what that should say, is that a temperature change occurs. So heat is given off or absorbed, and it is an endothermic, not endotermic. So it's an endothermic reaction when heat is absorbed. Another indicator of chemical change is precipitation. So when we get a formation of a precipitate, in this case here, we have lead nitrate being added to potassium iodide, and that gives us a lead iodide yellow precipitate. It's actually quite a spectacular one because it's all shiny and yellow, and we still have potassium nitrate in solution. The last one, and this tends to be, everyone thinks the explosions are going to be your favorite, but for me, for my experience teaching chemistry, and for me personally, it's always the color changes. And color change is the other indicator of a chemical change. Here's another really common experiment. This is where we get copper carbonate, which is this green, and we heat it for a while, and as you do, the powder starts to actually look a bit like a fluid. It starts to move like a fluid, and that's because carbon dioxide is bubbling out of it. You're decomposing it into black copper oxide, and carbon dioxide is what's coming out. Now, there's other bits to this. For example, we have a gas evolved, and also on top of that, we have heat being absorbed. This is an endothermic reaction. So those are your signs of, or your indicators of chemical change. Hope that made sense. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and we'll get back to you as quick as we can. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so you can keep up to date with everything we're doing. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye now.